Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Here we are again with Wisdom on Wednesday with Ray. I'm glad that you're here with me today as we've had a wonderful time over the last few weeks. We appreciate your support. We appreciate you being consistent and hanging out with me. Thank you for sharing in the comments. Thank you for talking so we can learn together. As usual, today my task is to talk about wisdom, obviously. But a wise person also has to make certain that they are aware of the things that frustrate them. So today I want to talk about frustrations and how sometimes frustrations aren't necessarily a bad thing. You see, I want to open up today and help us understand that many people who have their hands in something that's being built, they stay frustrated. Mothers who are making homes, building children's lives, helping them with their homework, working on their marriage, leaders in the workplace who train people with goals and visions in mind. Understand that sometimes people don't hit the same mark because we as visionaries, we as leaders, we as parents, we as church leaders, we as administrators and entrepreneurs, we've been given a vision, but we want to walk it out. But in order for that vision to be successful, you can't keep it to yourself and you have to lead and you have to show people the vision. Here's where the frustration part comes from. You see, sometimes people don't care as much as you do. All right, I want you to catch your breath on that one. Just because people aren't frustrated like you doesn't mean that your vision isn't important to them. You see, I want you to understand this definition as something that helped me over this past summer. Allow me to see exactly what my frustration was meaning to me. You see, there's no frustration without investment. If you haven't made an investment, what's the point of you being frustrated? So now you can understand how the leader of that team may get frustrated or seem a little irritated sometimes. What's their investment? It may seem like you have somebody who's a micromanager. Maybe they haven't grown to the type of leader that you think they should be yet. Maybe they hold things close to breast only because of their investment. Why is it that it seems like when mom is going off on everybody in the house, when you leave a bowl out, when somebody doesn't flush the toilet, when somebody doesn't do something, see, let's back up and look again. She's building something. She's building a family. She's building responsibilities in her children. She's building a way of life. And when it seems like people don't care, when it seems like people are just making a mess of the vision that she's been getting, that breeds frustration. You see, her investment is larger than some of the people that she lives with. Her investment is different. She's a chauffeur. She's driving children all over the town. She's driving children places that she says she wouldn't go, but she's a good mom. So she wants her children to experience all types of things. But sometimes there's frustration because she's invested in her children's success. And sometimes it doesn't look like their children appreciate the investment, which breeds frustration. I hope this one sinks in today because all of us find ourselves frustrated at times. And many times we project our frustration off on other people and the expectations we have for our goals, for our dreams, and all the things that have been put in our heart to accomplish. But we're walking by faith and testing these goals, trusting people with those things that are close to our breast, trusting people to fulfill those things that we've shared with them. But here we are, friends, I want to share with you, nobody's going to care about your dream like you do. Nobody's going to be as frustrated as you are about what you're supposed to do. Nobody's going to see it the same way that you do. So what would a wise person do? A wise person needs to take a step back and ask a couple of questions. Is it the fact that they don't care, or is it that I haven't been clear? Is it the fact that they're not doing what they're supposed to do, or do we need more training? Do we need to have more open dialogue about expectations? You see, many of our frustrations come from unexpressed expectations. You see, when you have unexpressed expectations, it breeds resentment. It breeds frustration. You see, because we have an expectation for people that they don't even understand or know that you have for them. This is something that I fail at on a regular basis. And I ask God to help me to be clear in my communication. I ask him to be help me to be more patient with the people that he's put in my life to help my dreams come to pass. I ask that he continue to give me grace for the people that are in my life the same way he's given me grace. Because if I laid my whole life out before you today, there's many people that will be frustrated with me. Procrastinating, overthinking, rationalizing, justifying. But ultimately, as a wise person, we have to recognize what frustrates us. That's the first question. Secondly, why am I frustrated? And thirdly, am I frustrated because of the amount of investment I've made? My time, my talent, and my treasure. Time that I've taken away from my family to make this thing come to pass. Treasure, my financial investment. Missing out on investments that I could possibly do to gain wealth in my own family, but I chose to invest in this venture. Right? You understand now? The people that are frustrated are people with the greatest investments. I'll leave you with this. We often see coaches run out on the sidelines with their players. Everybody's excited. Everybody is looking forward to a win at the end of 48 minutes. But something happens on the field after the game starts. A play corresponds, and people don't do what? They don't respond the way the coach trained them. They act like they weren't even at practice. In the words of AI, practice. They didn't display the expectation that the coach had. And you'll see that the news broadcast will pan over to the sideline, and you'll see that player getting reamed out by his coach. And some people may ask in their comfortable living room, the audacity of that coach to embarrass that player like that in front of all these people. But let's flip it around and ask the same question. What's the audacity of that player embarrassing that coach and not fulfilling the play and not being where they're supposed to be, not doing what they're supposed to do? You see how easy it is, friends, to just change seats with people that you're frustrated with. It's not necessarily that they intentionally want to frustrate you, but maybe sometimes people miss the tackle. Sometimes people miss the assignment. Sometimes people forget to pick that sock up. What has to happen is we have to evaluate. A wise person has to evaluate, why am I frustrated? Am I frustrated because my expectations are greater than the people that God's given me to fulfill my assignment? Are my frustrations so large because I think too highly of myself and I think lesser than other people? Are my frustrations stemming from a place of expectation that I know that are out of my reach, but I just keep going and grinding and going and grinding, and I stay frustrated because I've never reached any of my goals? So friends, today I hope that this nugget of wisdom helped you, encouraged you, allowed you to think a little bit about how and where our frustrations come from. This is Ray with Wisdom on Wednesdays. Have yourself a wonderful day. God bless.